So, just as I suspected, they were going to bring up race when it comes to why Joy Reid had to go. And it comes from none other than Rachel Maddow herself. She may be on her way out. I'm sure MSDNC is looking for some cuts to make, and last time I checked, she's getting paid $25 million to do her little show, Rachel Maddow. So maybe she's next, especially after what she had to say about her own network. So with that being said, and make sure you guys stick around because we got some beef brewing too. You're not going to want to miss that. Let's dive in.
I do not want to lose her as a colleague here at MSNBC, and personally, I think it is a bad mistake to let her walk out the door. It is not my call, and I understand that, but that's what I think. I will tell you, it is also unnerving to see that on a network where we've got two non-white hosts in primetime, both of our non-white hosts in primetime are losing their shows, as is Katie Fang on the weekend. And that feels worse than bad, no matter who replaces them. That feels indefensible, and I do not defend it.
Are you saying your network is racist? I think that's what it sounds like.
But there's just one other piece of it that you should know. From your side of the TV screen, you will mostly see changes in terms of who's in the anchor chair. And actually, everybody who's going to be in anchor chairs from here on out are great colleagues and great at what they do, and you are not going to be disappointed in who's on our air and what you're going to be seeing. But one thing you cannot necessarily see is that the people who get our shows on the air, they're really being put through the ringer. Dozens of producers and staffers, including some who are among the most experienced and most talented and most specialist producers in the building, are facing being laid off. They're being invited to reapply for new jobs. That has never happened at this scale in this way before when it comes to programming changes, presumably because it's not the right way to treat people, and it's inefficient and it's unnecessary, and it kind of drops the bottom out of whether or not people feel like this is a good place to work. And so
Well, the problem is your network is losing money. People have caught on to you and everybody else on your network being propagandists. That's all you spew is propaganda. You're no longer the news. You're a glorified YouTube channel. You're not the news. When people turn on MSDNC, they think of glorified YouTube channel. They don't think news. Not anymore. So until you actually get back to telling the news and not so much opinions, I'm not saying, people on television can't be somewhat opinionated, but when that's all that you offer is just your basic opinion and you spin anything and everything in a negative light, especially when it pertains to Donald Trump and Republicans, people don't want to watch that. When people turn your network on, they want to see the news, and that's no longer what you are. So until you get back to the news, telling it how it is and letting us decide whether or not we want to side with Republicans or side with Democrats on whatever particular issue that you are talking about, until you get back to that, you'll continue to sink until you, Rachel Maddow, will have to take another pay cut, and eventually you'll be fired too. And the rest of all your co-workers will be fired as well. And somebody else will buy your network. Maybe Elon. Then Elon will actually save the news again. That's just my humble opinion.
We don't generally do things that way. Maybe all of our folks, including most of the people who are getting this very show on the air right now, maybe they will all get new jobs here, and I hope they do. But in the meantime, being put in this kind of limbo, the anxiety and the discombobulation is off the charts at a time when this job already is extra stressful and difficult. It is not news for me to tell you that the press and freedom of the press are under attack in a way that is really, it's a big deal for our country. It's very visceral for us here. I know that the business of the press is not an easy thing, and I know that no job is forever. But I think I'm safe in saying for all of us anchors who you know through the TV, please know that what pains us the most is not what happens to us. It is what happens to our coworkers on whom we depend and who you don't necessarily know, but we respect and love them and depend on them. And did I mention we respect them?
Oh man, I'm sorry I had to subject y'all to that. But yeah, you heard Rachel Maddow basically blame racism on why Joy Reid, amongst others, have been fired. Not surprising, right? Not surprising. Now we got to move on to a little bit of beef that's been brewing. Yeah, little beef in this fallout. Well, first I'm going to play this clip of Megyn Kelly, and then I'm going to play someone's response to what Megyn Kelly had to say. Check it out.
The big news tonight will be Joy Reid's final show on MSNBC. Single tear, white woman tears happening right here, Joy. She was officially fired over the weekend because she's a racist, horrible news anchor with no ratings. And that's really been the truth for a long time. MSNBC's under new management, and I guess they decided to come to grips with reality. The truth is, this is very sad news for us, as she's provided so much material over the years. I feel the way I felt when Brian Stelter got fired, but he came back, and you never know. I'm sure Joy Reid will wind up doing something where we will continue to get to respond to her absolutely insane POV.
So someone had something to say about what she said there, but I also want to play what she's talking about in reference to tears.
In America, there's a thing about both white vigilantism and white tears, particularly male white tears. Really white tears in general, because that's what Karens are, right? They Karen out, and then as soon as they get caught, it's like, green waterworks. White men can get away with that too. And it has the same effect. Even as the right tries to politicize the idea that masculinity is being robbed from American men by multiculturalism and wokeism, they still want to be able to have their tears.
So that was what Megyn Kelly was referencing when she was talking about Joyless Reid being racist, and also the whole tear situation. But I got this clip from Don Lemon. He had to respond to Megyn Kelly, of course.
So let me just say to Megyn Kelly, in my 30-some years as a journalist and my 50-some years as a person of color, go fuck yourself, okay?
Great take there, Don.
I usually don't like to talk about her because she's one of those people, she thrives on it. She has built the second part of whatever of her career on being a troll. So this is what
and she's a lot more successful than you, but hey, you know.
Megyn Kelly said about Joy Reid, right? And remember, Joy Reid is a woman, Megyn Kelly is a woman. She's supposed to be all about women and, you know, supports women. Okay, so this is what she said. Remember when Joy Reid laughingly mocked white women tears as pathetic and offensive to her? Who's crying now, Joy? Good riddance to the absolute worst person on television, and shame on NBC for letting it go on this long. And she has a, you know, she is an axe to grind when it comes to MSNBC. And also, this whole, she's racist, right? It's just, I'm going to give you the evidence.
I wonder why you don't want to give any evidence. Maybe because there isn't any?
Supposedly learned from it and then spent every day after apologizing for it and being fired for it, then spent every day proving the point that she is a racist.
You remember like what Joy Reid got caught for? Those posts that were on her ex account, and she tried to say that she was hacked. Yeah, you thought we forgot, Don? No, we ain't forget. We got the receipts, baby. We got the receipts. She got on national television and tried to say that she was hacked. And then she had to admit, well, they weren't able to find anything or figure out, you know, whether or not anybody got in. She tried to spin that so badly. Goodness gracious. So don't throw rocks in a glass house, Don. Joy Reid ain't as innocent as what you might think either.
And not very supportive of women. If you look, all you have to do, the evidence is in her Google search and what she says about women and how she calls them out all the time. The worst person. No, Megyn Kelly, the worst person on television was fired from NBC in the Today Show a few years ago, and that's Megyn Kelly. That's the worst person who's not on television anymore, is you. That's the worst person who's not on television. So hurrah for that. NBC did something good with that. You know why? I like to give proof of things, evidence. Like when I said Donald Trump, the president of the United States, was racist, it wasn't my opinion. This isn't my opinion about Megyn Kelly. The evidence is there. I'm going to show you the evidence of Megyn Kelly, and that's just as I showed you the evidence of Donald Trump.
Oh, man. Yeah. Goodness gracious. Don is just so desperate. So desperate. Just reaching. Just reach. Oh, she's racist and she hates women. Oh my goodness. Whenever you criticize anybody or any group of individuals, or whenever you criticize any person, they turn it around and make it sound and seem as if like you hate that group of people. She hates women. She is a woman. Like, what? What are you talking about? Megyn Kelly hates women. She's a woman herself. Like, what? Huh? I'm so confused. I'm lost. What? Oh, my goodness. My goodness. No wonder why he's not doing that great, right? That's no shocker. That's no surprise. Oh, man. It's also no surprise that they always point to racism. That's all they do. That's all they have. And it's so weak and pathetic. It's so weak and pathetic. Oh, if you don't agree with me, you're racist. Even if you're black, like they try to call you the black face of white supremacy. Like, what the fuck are you talking about, bro? You're the black face of white supremacy. Huh? Like, they just start making up stuff, just pulling stuff out of their behinds. It's so weak and pathetic, man. It's crazy. Crazy. And it's why they lost. It's why they lost. And it's why they will continue to lose, because obviously they haven't learned their lesson. They're just doubling down on this nonsense. So have at it, I guess. We'll continue to stack up these W's, baby. I got no issues with that. Thanks for tuning in as always. Peace and love. I'm out.